Bad things well said.
I swear, if you listen closely to the sound of a diesel engine idling anywhere from the port of Reykjavik to Seyðisfjörður, you can actually hear it sighing. That deep, weary sound of money just escaping your wallet. Not into the atmosphere, but straight into some tightly sealed corporate vault.
Oh, it's more than a sigh. It's the sound of structural inevitability. Today, we're basically conducting a forensic autopsy of a specific slow-motion economic crime.
Right.
The decades-long heist against the Icelandic consumer executed under the perfect cover. This system, specifically the fuel market, it's where a volatile global commodity meets an extremely small, isolated, and highly monopolized island.
And the tragic result is that you, the driver, you pay twice. Once relentlessly to the state through this maze of taxes, and then again silently to the oligarchy that controls everything. So this week, we are skipping the regular news cycle. This special is about what's boiling over on social media, what's dominating every kitchen table discussion, fuel prices, cartels, and the government's, well, highly creative ideas for digging even deeper into our pockets.
It's a classic shell game. It's all about engineering the perception of relief while, guaranteeing the permanent reality of profit.
Precisely. This is Bad Things Well Said Icelandic Newsroom. But before we jump into the quantitative proof of the rocket and the feather, we have a mandate.
Oh, the annual prophecy, of course.
Join us for another special episode on the first day of the new year. It's titled Archaeology of the Future. We won't be summarizing 2025. Bad Things Well Said will try to predict what awaits us in 2026. We'll examine economic, political, and social dynamics, and it certainly won't be a light or pleasant time, but it's necessary so that by the middle of the year we can proudly shout, "I fucking told you so."
A charming invitation to intellectual misery. I love it.
Indeed. A word of warning. Don't subscribe. It might actually make you think. Okay, so let's start with the chaos. To understand the local price, you first have to get your head around the global madness. I mean, oil has been on a complete theme park ride for a decade. We're talking Brent crude at $115 a barrel in 2014, then crashing to less than 50 just a year later.
And let's not forget the pure absurdity of 2020. I mean, the absolute horror show where demand just evaporated. Brent hit, $9 a barrel?
$9.
And WTI, West Texas Intermediate, it actually went negative. Sellers were paying people to take the oil. That's an existential crisis.
Then, whiplash. The geopolitical surge passed $120 in 2022. It's pure financialized chaos out there.
Right. And here is the truly staggering fact, the one that proves the structural lie of the whole system here. Through all of that unprecedented global volatility, Icelandic fuel prices have remained stubbornly, consistently among the highest in the entire world. As of mid-2025, we were sitting in second place globally.
Second place. How is that even mathematically possible? I get that we're an island, shipping costs and all that, but how can our prices stay so high, so stable, when the global market crashes?
The tax wall. That's the answer. Over 50%, more than half of the price you pay at the pump is just fixed taxes and levies.
So it's a buffer.
It's more than a buffer, it's a fortress. Think of every liter of petrol like a cake. The state gets the biggest slice, almost 170 kroner, if the price today is around 300. And that goes straight into the coffers, no matter what's happening in Saudi Arabia or Texas.
So the part that's actually sensitive to the market, the piece that's linked to crude oil, that's just a fraction of what we're paying.
A tiny fraction, exactly. Yeah. When you factor in the mandatory biocomponents, the sustainable fuel additives, which are often more expensive, only about 38% of the price is actually exposed to global fluctuation.
Wow.
This structural stiffness means that if crude drops by 50% globally, the absolute maximum drop you can expect here is maybe 20%. The rest is locked in stone by that tax wall.
And this inherent stiffness is what enables that infamous, maddening rocket and feather phenomenon. I was stunned to read the Competition Authority actually confirmed this. It's not just drivers grumbling, it's a state-verified market failure.
It's the official mechanism of pain transfer, right? To shoot up like a rocket, the rising costs are passed on instantly, never delayed.
Never.
But they fall slow as a feather when those costs drop. Always delayed by weeks and always incomplete.
Okay, so let's get concrete. How heavy is this feather?
Look at the numbers from the Competition Authority's own report. Between 2014 and 2016, global oil prices fell by almost 50%.
50?
Icelandic pump prices. They only went down about 20%. The oligopoly just pocketed the entire difference.
That's not a feather, that's a dense metal boulder.
And more recently, just this past spring, in 2025, global oil fell over 4%. The average gasoline price here fell by a pathetic 0.9%.
That's almost an insult.
It is an insult. But hold on, one retailer proved that a deeper cut was possible, didn't they?
Yes, Costco. They operate outside the established system. During that exact same period, they dropped their prices by about 3%.
Right.
So they proved in real time that the margin protection everyone else was practicing was a choice. It wasn't an economic necessity.
Which brings us to the oligopoly itself. Why do they all act like one unified body? You've got Festi with N1, Hagar with Elise and Obi, and Skeljunger with Orkin. These big three control over 80% of the entire market. 80%.
And here's the joke point. They all draw their fuel from the exact same tap.
The same supplier.
One single supplier, Norway's Equinor. The industry itself admits Equinor has a strong grip on the supply chain. So you have this tight, centralized structure and anti-monopoly laws that stop them from collaborating on bigger, cheaper bulk purchases. It's the perfect stage for conscious parallelism.
So they don't need a secret meeting, they just need to watch each other and follow the leader, which is usually N1. And so when global prices finally drop, the big three trot out the exact same flimsy excuse every single time. Technical factors and inventory policy.
It's a running gag at this point.
It really is. The director of the Icelandic Automobile Association, FIB, summed it up perfectly. He said the companies always seem to have expensive inventory when prices fall, but they always have insufficient inventory when prices rise.
They always find a reason to protect the margin no matter what.
Always. It's not a market, it's a rigged roulette wheel where the house always wins.
And now the government is about to introduce this masterful strategic political sleight of hand. It starts January 1st, 2026. This is the 90 ISK anesthesia.
This is the January 1st trap. The old excise duties, the Bensingjald and the Oligopoly, they're being removed completely.
And replaced with?
The new user fee, the Kilometre fee, the Kílómetragjald, set at 6.95 kroner per kilometer for a standard card.
The key part here is the optics. And the timing is just political genius. Because the old taxes are gone, the price at the pump should drop by over 90 kroner per liter for petrol.
And 80 for diesel.
It's a massive headline-grabbing number. A strategic temporary gift designed to hit the news cycle just 4 months before the municipal elections in May.
It is the ultimate political anesthetic. It works because it exploits the consumer's cognitive gap. The benefit, that massive 90 kroner saving, it's immediate, tangible. You see it right there on the gas station sign.
Right, everyone feels richer, instantly.
But the corresponding pain is totally divorced from the action, isn't it?
Completely. The kilometer fee arrives as a detached monthly bill, probably on your Heimabanki, your digital banking app.
And you mentally categorize it as fixed overhead, like your internet bill. It's not a driving cost anymore. The government is swapping a transparent pay-as-you-go tax for a hidden deferred tax that needs a permanent surveillance system to track every kilometer we drive.
Okay, wait, I have to challenge this. Isn't a mileage fee, isn't it inherently fairer, more environmentally sound? You tax movement, you tax heavy use, rather than a commodity that's essential for anyone living outside Reykjavik. Why are the consumer watchdogs so angry about this?
That's the core tension, right? The policy sounds good, the execution is cynical, and there's a Trojan horse hidden inside that shift.
Which is?
The carbon tax, the Kolefnisgjald. While the excise duty vanishes, the carbon tax is simultaneously rising. It's going up to 24.25 ISK per liter for petrol. So this mandatory increasing tax will just gradually, year after year, erode and then completely erase that initial 90 kroner saving.
So by 2027,
the relief is gone. But the mileage tax meter is spinning forever. The consumer pays twice for the same carbon.
And this whole transition, it just hands a golden ticket directly to the oligopoly. You remove the excise tax, you remove the only clear public benchmark for price sanity. Why would the big three ever lower the price by the full 90 kroner?
They have zero commercial incentive to do it. If they absorb just 10 kroner per liter of that cut, say, the price drops by 80 instead of 90.
Nobody would even notice in the confusion.
No one. And that translates to hundreds of millions in pure, camouflaged profit. It's profit made under the cover of a massive government reform.
This whole cynical system, It relies on our cultural compliance. Which brings us to that famous Icelandic syndrome, Þetta, reddast.
Yeah, Þetta, reddast. It will all work out.
Right.
It's celebrated as this mantra of resilience, against volcanoes and winter storms. But in an economic context, it's a kind of learned helplessness. It's the passive, collective acceptance of being gouged. Why fight the system if everyone knows the system is designed to be rigged?
And in a small society like this, where everyone knows everyone, the social cost of criticizing the powerful groups, the octopus of fishing and retail, is just too high. It's Kafkaesque.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this is why what the regulators and consumer groups are doing right now is so vital. They know the oligopoly will try to eat that cut. So the state has had to activate layers of defense to force them to comply.
So what are those layers? How do you stop them from just pocketing our 90 kroner?
3 things, from soft to hard. First, the political threat. You saw Minister Lilja Alfrestad here openly calling on fuel companies to lower their prices.
Yeah, she was pointing at Denmark. I remember that.
Exactly. Demanding a public explanation for the price difference, that's soft pressure.
So what's the hard option? What's the nuclear option here?
The regulator. The Competition Authority, SKE. They have a high-stakes lever they can pull. They're dealing with the Bergorka lawsuit against Festi right now.
Right.
And Bergorka isn't just asking for fines, they're demanding a forced breakup of Festi for anti-competitive behavior. The threat is in the air. If the big 3 try to pocket the tax savings, SKE is signaling they are ready to use this case as a precedent to start smashing their empires.
Wow, that's some serious deterrence.
It's structural deterrence. And the third, and maybe the most effective defense, is just consumer awareness.
Knowledge they can't control.
Spot on. FIV and the labor union AS, they have anchored public expectation to one precise number, 90 ISK. By sharing the math, they've made it impossible to hide. If the price drops by 85, every single driver knows instantly that they're being ripped off and by how much.
So the companies have to match the 90 or they face this massive targeted public backlash.
Guaranteed boycotts. But they won't drop it fully, will they?
Of course not. We already heard the corporate smokescreen starting in December.
Oh, they're practicing the choreography of their excuses already. Skjelljungbor's president, Sjur Guðjónsson, he already set the low bar. He was suggesting the drop might be less than expected.
So what's the excuse going to be in January?
Watch for the triple header. Blame the rising carbon tax. Blame foreign exchange fluctuations, and of course blame that eternally old, expensive inventory that only seems to exist when prices are supposed to fall.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? The market is shifting from taxing what you burn to taxing how much you move.
It's a clean transfer of wealth, masked by a single, beautiful, temporary price drop. Wealth goes from the household to the state via the mileage tax, and wealth goes from the household to the oligopoly via margin absorption. It's a cynical win-win for the powerful.
So what should we be watching for in March 2026 when the spring sun is out and the 90 kroner anesthetic wears off? What are the red flags?
First, watch for the sticky price. Global oil might fall, but Icelandic pump prices will just stagnate. The feather will be heavier than ever because they'll use the rising carbon tax as a permanent excuse for high prices.
Second, the rental car shock. Tourists, anyone renting a vehicle, be warned. Rental agencies will absolutely slap an exorbitant admin fee on top of the actual road tax. They'll turn tax collection into a private profit center.
And finally, watch the social dynamics. The outcry from rural drivers. The weight-based mileage fee means older, heavier vehicles, the ones you actually need for long commutes in the countryside, they're going to be disproportionately hurt. This reform is already seen by many as a Reykjavik tax imposed specifically on the rural working class.
The cynical truth remains. The 90 ISK drop is a temporary political fiction. It's designed to buy a few months of silence. The meter in your dashboard, that's the permanent structural reality. Don't let the illusion buy your vote in May.
Monitor the pump, watch your monthly bill, and never forget the system is designed to take advantage of your belief that Þetta, reddast, that it will all just work out.
Refuse to believe it will all work out. Instead, do your own math. Tell your neighbors the truth about the carbon tax. Make some noise. Because if you don't, you'll be paying that fee forever.
Or you could just go back to blissfully accepting that high prices are simply the cost of living on a small, cynical island. It's much less stressful than confronting the octopus.
Don't do that. The voices in this podcast were generated by AI. However, all information, facts, claims, concepts, and the script itself were prepared, editorially reviewed, and are the original work of a human author.
bad things. Well said.
Icelandic Newsroom.